I am Rhonda Montgomery, Chair of the UNLV Faculty Senate, and it is an honor to be a part of this event today. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas wishes to acknowledge and honor the indigenous communities of this region and recognize that the university is situated on the traditional homelands of the Nuwu Southern Paiute people. We offer gratitude for the land itself, for those who have stewarded it for generations, and for the opportunity to study, learn, work, and be in community with this land. We encourage everyone in this space to engage in continued learning about the indigenous people who work and live on this land since time immemorial, including the Las Vegas Paiute tribe and the Moapa Band of Paiutes. As one of the most diverse universities for undergraduate students in the United States, UNLV believes it is important to recognize and appreciate the use of the Southern Paiute land as part of its mission to be a welcoming and inclusive place for working and learning. I joined UNLV in 1995 and have served in various roles during my 28 years here as an administrator and faculty member. I've served with 7 presidents and interim presidents and even more provosts. I've lost count of the number of associate, assistant, vice presidents and provosts, deans, etc., with whom I've served, each of which I've learned a great deal about leadership and higher education. This is my second go-around as chair of the Faculty Senate, a role that I am honored to serve in. It gives me great pleasure to welcome a number of guests joining us today who work incredibly hard at seeing that UNLV receives everything that it needs to maintain its R1 status. First, the Chancellor of the Nevada System of Higher Education, oh good God. I woke up saying his name this morning. Urquiaga, thank you. When I see it spelled, it's just like, what is that? We thank Chancellor Urquiaga for serving in this role in the interim to keep the mission of the system moving forward for the success of our institutions and students. We also are joined by Regents Heather Brown, Amy Carvalho, Michelle Cruz Crawford, and Laura Perkins. We welcome Regents Brown and Cruz Crawford in their new roles, and we thank Regents Carvalho, Perkins, and all regents for their service on behalf of higher education in Nevada. We would also like to welcome a few dignitaries who are able to be with us today. From the office of Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, we welcome Emily Salazar, Deputy Treasurer of College Savings for the state of Nevada, Dr. Tia Mathis Coleman, Community Liaison for the Office of the Governor, Amanda Sandoval, Las Vegas Mayor Pro Tem from Ward 1, Brian Knudsen, Las Vegas Councilman from Ward 5, Cedric Creer, Las Vegas Councilwoman from Ward 3, Olivia Diaz, Henderson City Councilman from Ward 4, Dan Stewart, Clark County School District Superintendent, Jesus Jara, and Clark County School District Trustee from District F, Irene Bustamante Adams. I would also like to recognize members from the UNLV Foundation and Research Foundation, including Executive Committee members Diane Bennett, Michael Bonner, and Steve Comer. We would like to welcome former UNLV President Marta Miana, the President's Cabinet and Deans, and all the community leaders, partners, and donors that are able to be with us today. I am now pleased to introduce President Keith E. Whitfield. President Whitfield became the 11th president of UNLV on August 24th, 2020. Since arriving to Las Vegas, President Whitfield has been embraced by the community. He has also been deeply engaged with faculty, staff, students, alumni, and community members to build upon UNLV's positive momentum. President Whitfield is a seasoned university administrator and prolific scholar in the fields of psychology, health, and aging. Prior to joining UNLV, he served as provost, senior vice president of academic affairs, and professor of psychology at Wayne State University in Michigan. At UNLV, President Whitfield oversees a university with nearly 31,000 students and 4,000 full-time employees. He has worked in higher education for more than 3 decades and has received numerous national awards and honors throughout his career. During his tenure at UNLV, President Whitfield has shown through his words and deeds to be an avid supporter and partner of the UNLV Faculty Senate and an individual who walks his talk when it comes to practicing shared governance. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome President Keith E. Whitfield.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Rhonda, and thanks to the Faculty Senate for all of your collaboration and work over this past year. As you got a little taste of, Rhonda runs a tight ship, and so they have been getting an enormous amount done, and I want to just take a little bit of executive privilege and say, hi, Mom, to Rhonda's mom. I don't think my mom's paying attention. Well, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone attending in person and those watching the live stream through the UNLV website. Before I get started, I want to thank the incredible staff that's worked so hard to put this together. If you would join me, give them a little applause. You know, I believe that our future is bright here at UNLV, and I want to take this opportunity today to share with you my vision for UNLV and some noteworthy accomplishments. To get where we want to be as an institution, we must adjust our thinking. We have to remain focused on how we deliver a positive experience for our students, the primary reason why we even exist as a university. While at the same time, we have to excel at research and position ourselves to be a key partner to the community. I've been trying to take a step back, a little bit of insight and introspection, and get away from the clutter of thousands of decisions that have to be made and also the numbers and metrics that we follow so closely. And I wanted to ask myself an important question. Why are we in education? Now, I like to think that I'm just a simple country president, but I'd argue that we need to consistently emphasize that the reason why we're in higher education is to promote the joy of learning. Think of the joy when you first learned how to ride a bike. Now, there was some scuffed knees and ankles and things, but you got to ride that bike when those training wheels came off. It was so exciting. Or think about when you finally figured out how to use that new iPhone. That's the joy of learning. And it's that joy that we sometimes forget in the noisy world that we live in today. That joy needs to be instilled in our students, shared among our faculty and staff, and demonstrated to the community and to the future generations of rebels. Yet, that are yet to grace our campus. Now, I remember the joy of learning when I was a freshman in college. It was a few years ago. I went with a group of my friends to see the movie Altered States. Anybody ever heard of that movie? Yeah, you got to be a little older. It was an 80s movie. And this movie was filled with psychological constructs by some of the great theorists. And, you know, it played with your thinking about elements of different states of consciousness and memory. And man, I was in heaven. I kept talking during the movie. And when it was over, I just kept rambling on. I was like, oh, you know, and that was so-and-so, and, you know, and they never really thought about this, and that's interesting to think about. And my friends just started laughing at me. And I said, why are you laughing? And they said, you really love this psychology stuff. And that was one of the moments that I can clearly remember. I had this joy that I was learning these incredible constructs, and that I even saw it on the big screen. There are moments where the joy of learning happens all over our university every day. And our campus is operating in a more normal, traditional way these past few years, with one huge exception. In August, we joined 2,000 other colleges and universities across the country to become a smoke-free and a tobacco-free campus. I want to thank Dean Sean Gerstenberger and the School of Public Health, as well as the University Policy Committee, for all of its work. I know, yes. Getting something like this done is really an incredible feat, and I know that it's been a marathon to get it done, but good policy development and implementation takes time, and so I appreciate all of your patience and persistence. Thanks to everyone who was involved in making UNLV a healthier workplace. I wish I could say the same about the health of higher education in general, but I can't. There are a lot of headwinds that we face right now. The value of education is being questioned by some, more states are decreasing their funding, and enrollment is down as much as 10% in some states. These challenges are not new to our industry, but higher education has been too slow to respond. If I had a crystal ball, I'd expect that there's going to be fewer colleges and universities by 2030, and those that survive will need to adapt and change their business and education models to be able to succeed. They will need to be able to be more nimble, innovative, and student-centric. We're fortunate that UNLV is in a better situation than most institutions, but we still have work to do to strengthen our position. Our enrollment is down only slightly this fall, less than 2%, compared to pre-pandemic levels, but we also welcomed one of the largest first-time, full-time freshman classes in the history of the university. And the preliminary numbers for spring are looking really strong. We always wait for that final count. It's maybe in a couple of weeks. But I realize that I'm very, very biased. I believe that there's no better value from a Carnegie R1 institution than UNLV. And we are situated in a dynamic region that continues to grow. So all of these things are positives for us. UNLV is an open access institution, and it has some of the lowest tuition and cost of attendance among R1 universities in the country. At UNLV, we deliver a tremendous education to our students and an exceptional value. Now, those who know me, I was waiting for the laughing. You know, those who know me know that I am not afraid to dream big. It has never been one of my failings to think about things that don't exist yet. So my vision, one of the pieces of my vision for UNLV, is to have 40,000 students by 2030, and to at least double the number of programs ranked in the top 50 nationally. To do this and to maintain our competitiveness, we need to increase the reach of where we recruit our students from, both nationally and beyond. We want to bring the world to UNLV by increasing the number of international students who attend our university. We're increasing that number through our global education initiatives under the direction of Senior Vice Provost, Dr. Kate Corrigan. Over the past year, we have recommitted and reinvested in international student recruitment. And this past fall, we saw a 27% increase in enrollment for international graduate students and 26% increase for our graduate students. We anticipate a 15% increase next year and continuing increases through the remainder of the decade. UNLV now has more than 24 agents and partner organizations around the globe looking for future rebels. Our reach includes Asia, Southeast Asia, Mexico, Central and South America, and ultimately Africa, the Middle East, and beyond. Thank you, Kate, for the work that you've been doing. Now, not a lot of people know this, but I worked as a college recruiter when I was in graduate school. I should have been doing more graduate school, but I was earning money to say, it's a long story, I won't tell you that one. So understand that I know firsthand the impact that college recruiters can have on enrollment. Our national recruitment efforts include California and Hawaii, of course, but also Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Oregon, Texas, and Washington. We have dedicated recruiters in these markets as well as the Las Vegas-based recruiters. We've added 13 new positions, nearly doubling our total number of recruiters compared to pre-pandemic levels. And for the first time, we've partnered with the national television series, The College Tour, to highlight the student experience at UNLV. The 20-episode series of vignettes will be on the TV series platform beginning in April, and a complete hour-long package of stories will stream on Amazon Prime this June. Here's a short behind-the-scenes look of when the College Tour team was here on campus last fall.
Welcome everyone to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, also known as UNLV.
This project showcases the incredible student stories and really captures the energy of UNLV in a way that I think will inspire everyone who watches it. One of the initiatives I'm most proud of is my work with other presidents across the country to have UNLV be a founding member of the Alliance of Hispanic Serving Research Universities. This is an elite group of only 21 Carnegie R1 institutions, and we're committed to increasing opportunity for those historically underserved by higher education, with goals to significantly boost Hispanic doctoral student enrollment and faculty members at these institutions by 2030. As part of this effort, UNLV recently partnered with Arizona State University and the University of Illinois Chicago to further advance the work of this alliance by creating a UNLV-based Center for Community Coordination and Shared Practice. The goal is to generate positive institutional change at Hispanic serving institutions at all levels throughout the country and improve undergraduate interest and engagement in STEM initiatives. This effort coincides with the work of former President Marta Miana, who is spearheading an institutional assessment for me of all STEM activities at UNLV. She is leading the development of a university-wide strategic plan for STEM activities that will broaden opportunities for all students and matches them with potential careers. A STEM summit is scheduled for next week to highlight STEM scholars, research, and best practices, and to increase collaboration among NSHE institutions, the Clark County School District, and the Governor's Office of Science, Innovation, and Technology. Thank you very much, Marta. I think by now all of us know we live in an absolutely incredible state. But we have to be honest with ourselves about something. We need more college graduates. Did you know that according to the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance, that only 1/3 of Southern Nevada residents have some type of college degree? It's nearly twice that number in other cities. I want anyone who wants to go to college and get a degree to have a chance and a path to success. I want to find a way to rekindle their joy of learning and help put them in a place where if they desire to work by getting a degree and finish what they might have started but haven't finished, that we can get them to the finish line. So we're also making an effort to re-engage adult learners who are looking to improve themselves through retraining or upskilling or expanding their knowledge by earning a degree, a certificate, or maybe completing that degree they hadn't finished. And we're identifying working professionals to help them consider getting a UNLV graduate degree. For the first time in recent history, maybe ever, we're going to specifically market graduate programs to individuals who may be looking to change their career paths or give it a little energy boost. We're placing our message in specific platforms that reach those working professionals. The campaign is going to begin later this month, and we'll see how successful we can be. But let's not forget the 300,000 kids in the Clark County School District. Our CCSD teachers and school administrators work tirelessly every day to instill the joy of learning. I believe UNLV needs to broaden our reach to students locally and have a better connection with them in the K-12 system. We need to find those students who weren't thinking about college but have the ability. I've been working with Superintendent Jesus Jaro to find ways that UNLV can help his mission to provide educational opportunities for the kids in Clark County. He's an incredible leader, and I foresee us doing even more in the coming future. He's here today, and if you would, join me in giving him a round of applause. I believe that this kind of work has to be the goal for all Nevada institutions of higher education. Not enough high school students are going to college or to trade schools. Currently, a lot of the discussion on how to increase the number of college-going students has centered on dual enrollment programs with high schools. UNLV has dual enrollment programs in a number of schools in CCSD. We actually project a 50% increase in the number of students enrolled in our programs by next year. And while these programs have great benefit, they can't be the only strategy to increasing a college-going culture in our state. Many of those students participating in dual enrollment are probably already headed to college anyway. We need to help young people see themselves as college students, UNLV specifically. We need to help more students imagine themselves going to college. I believe it's especially important to reach kids in the 6th through 9th grades and introduce them to college and encourage them to dream about what they want to be when they grow up. This is especially true for our first generation students, and it's why we need to invest time, energy, and university resources in working with K-12 schools. We can attract more students and help those students who enter college to be more prepared and be better students overall. But we need to engage them early, and we need to engage them often. We need to help them understand that a college degree can yield $1.2 million more over your lifetime compared to just a college education, a high school education. We need to emphasize the joy of learning, highlight the opportunities that follow a college degree, and reinforce that UNLV is their home. That's the vision behind the Young Rebels program established last year. Young Rebels is a collective and a collaborative effort between UNLV's Division of Educational Outreach and various UNLV colleges and schools. It puts many of UNLV's youth programs in STEM, nursing, business, arts, and more under one umbrella with one-stop customer shopping experience that includes a standardized registration process. The Young Rebels program improves awareness and access to the more than 30 existing youth programs for students in elementary, middle, and high school. It builds on work of Devin Harris in UNLV's early outreach program. We want to make sure that kids, especially those kids in 6th through 9th grades, have a positive UNLV experience. We want to make sure that they think of school as being cool. And sometimes kids can remember those experiences, hold on to them, and that guides them in the future. I want them to come to our campus and dream of becoming a rebel someday. I have been encouraging our deans to find ways to double the number of summer programs that we offer at this university, and I want them to do it over the next 5 years. For those students who choose UNLV, I know that the transition from high school to college, that's a big culture change. That's why we're introducing the Rebel Ready Week. This August is going to happen for the first time, and it's to assist students in transitioning to university life. The 6 days of programming, the week before school starts, will lay the foundation for an engaging and successful student experience. As part of that experience, students will stay in UNLV housing and eat meals on our campus. They're good meals. They really are. Most important part, it'll be at no cost to them. You should give me a little hand on that. That was really part of the trick. Rebel Ready Week will strengthen our onboarding program, building a sense of connection for students with UNLV, and I believe it'll help students be better prepared, more confident, and one of the most important things in terms of student success is that students need to feel like they belong, and I think this is going to help them feel like they belong. Interestingly enough, the University of North Texas established a similar program, and it contributed to a 96% first-year retention rate. We want to see that kind of success here at UNLV. Thanks to Assistant Vice President Barb Roberts and Vice Provost Dr. Laurel Pritchard for their work on getting this program launched this fall. I think it's going to pay huge dividends for our first-time students. One of our strengths is that we are proud about our ability to advance social mobility in our students. UNLV is in the top 15% nationally of being able to move students from some of the lowest levels of social mobility to the highest. But once you're there, once you're making money, are you using that money to build wealth? So another area that I have asked our leadership team to work on is financial literacy. Kudos to Junior Achievement USA and to community leaders such as President and CEO Michelle Jackson with the Southern Nevada chapter for their long-standing vision to teach young people basic financial management skills. Research from Junior Achievement shows that students who participate in their program are more likely to have a college degree, are more confident about managing their money, and are more likely to have career success. These are the kinds of skills that they can use for their entire lives, and it's a model we're bringing here to UNLV. I want to see us go beyond helping students just manage their financial aid. And while that's important, there's lots of other financial wellness, financial management that our students need to know about. We need to help them develop skills for life-changing events like buying a car or home, managing money over the long term that includes using credit cards or digital payments, getting their insurance taken care of, planning for parenthood, and even planning for retirement. Those of you who are closer to retirement age, you know the earlier you start, the better you are. So we will plan to provide workshops and certificate programs for students so they learn how to manage their financial assets while at UNLV and also across their whole life course. The program will be a partnership between Academic Affairs and the Provost Office, undergraduate admissions, the Lee Business School, and community partners in the financial sector. And we're planning for, it's so funny, I'm reading this stuff and it says a soft launch this fall. It's going to be a hard launch this fall. We're going to go whole hog. Now, one aspect that promotes the joy of learning is how you learn, is the format in which you learn. Provost Chris Heavey and I have been challenging our academic faculty to provide our students with more opportunities for experiential learning, hands-on activities that go beyond the chapter in a book, things like lab work, research with a professor or a small group, and especially field work. These are lasting experiences that allow students to apply their skills and to give them something tangible to refer to as they pursue their degree. This concept includes working on to engage the 21st century learner and building cutting-edge classrooms quite unlike those of yesterday. Our new medical school building allows students to practice procedures in a virtual world before ever going into the real world. This results in more skilled, more experienced physicians for our community. Vice President of Economic Development Bo Bernhard and I visited with the creators of Dreamscape, which is a company that develops immersive learning content, the kind that ASU has been using prominently. We were so impressed, we sent a group of faculty and administrators to Phoenix to do their own assessment. They came back with great enthusiasm for creating a sort of resource like we see at ASU, but we got to make it UNLV friendly. So that's the metaverse that everybody talks about. Now, the metaverse is an incredible place. Actually, a lot of you guys know, I was going to say they're related to me, but the digital president. The digital president lives there. He loves it's got a place there, you know, drinks Mai Tais on the weekends. He has a good time. But that's something where we're going to see a lot of students in. And what I'd like to do is to share with you an example of what learning in the metaverse actually might look like.
But I want to talk about something else now, which is a new product called the immersive classroom or the virtual classroom, where students, and in this case the teacher, network from anywhere in the world, are rendered as completely realistic avatars, completely in touch with all of their ability to communicate, all of their senses, in extraordinary virtual environments. It's not just the ability to bring people together remotely, but we can bring them together in environments which are reflective of whatever their collaboration might be. Whether it's King Tut's tomb, we're studying the environment from the top of a pyramid in Central America. We can be in the middle of the Pacific Oceans like the Pacific Islanders did, the voyagers who could actually navigate without instruments, would drop down 30 meters and understand the ocean from the point of view of the oceanographer. This is very much about access. We asked ourselves, how many kids have never been to a world-class art museum? And those of us who have ever been to the moon. Here we're actually inside the intercellular matrix, discussing and trying to understand an all too familiar virus. These are modes of collaboration that were really only dreamt of for the future, but quite honestly, there are tools that we have now.
So as you can see from that short video, this is really amazing stuff. I predict that this will be a standard part of a college education in the future. But UNLV is going to get starting on it today. Stay tuned as we figure out how our students might benefit from learning more from the perspective of the metaverse. A great example of UNLV students doing what they learned happened at an international competition last November. The Global X Prize Challenge drew top tech minds from around the world to build a functional robot that could traverse a simulated disaster area, guided by someone operating a wearable tech simulation suit. The UNLV team, made up of students and faculty from the Engineering College's Drone and Autonomous Systems Lab, created Avatar Hubo and advanced to the final day of the $10 million competition before finishing 11th overall. I had an example to meet with our students and do a dry run of sorts of operating the robots. The students' work and attention to detail was absolutely amazing, and I can assure you from firsthand experience that operating a robot remotely takes a tremendous amount of skill, talent, and patience. And there are more great examples of UNLV students learning in the field. In a collaboration between the College of Fine Arts and the William S. Boyd School of Law, film students produced a documentary that captured the history, personal stories, and substandard living conditions of Windsor Park. a Las Vegas neighborhood that was built in the 1960s during segregation. The houses were constructed over geologic faults, resulting in long-term problems. The field project that they engaged in allowed students to get a glimpse of history and highlighted the structural racism embedded in the community. History is not always romantic, but we can always learn from it, both the good and the bad. And these film students worked closely with the William S. Boyd School of Law to learn firsthand in the field about what happened. And remember, each one of us had the opportunity when we were in like elementary school to go on field trips. You remember that? Well, I can remember when I was in the 5th grade. I did this program called Nature Trails, okay, that taught students about, nature. It was a 3-day program that really fostered my joy of learning. Well, I loved it so much that I actually became a student instructor the next year and came back and taught other students about the things that I learned and the things that I loved about. I think that that's what helped me grow my love of teaching. Well, students from the Honors College got the field trip of a lifetime. They did this past summer where they traversed Nevada, immersing themselves in statewide issues that are both wide-ranging and, interconnected between urban and rural, between industry and environment. In one such example, they learned how the state is looking to its rich deposit of minerals such as lithium to spur economic growth, but also learned about the efforts to balance the impact on the people living on those lands and the surrounding environment. The primary goal of the field trip was to get students out of Clark County and the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas to experience a different industry, mining, as well as a different way of life. This experience will shape their decision-making and understanding of issues that go far beyond where they go to school and far beyond their time at UNLV. They shared those experiences in this video. Let's take a look.
Some of the Vegas locals, I'd say about more than half the class, had not really gone outside of a trip to UNR, which would be up in Reno. They had not really traveled across the state. You can only learn so much in the classroom besides seeing it for yourself.
Just being able to have that chance to go outside, really appreciate and know that, life is so precious. Go out, seize the day, smell the roses. Being able to do all that while learning about the precious history of our state, I will remember this for the rest of my life.
Having this unique class in particular just allows us to get out and to get to see the world in a different way. It does give us that insight to allow us to understand where other people may be coming from and help us be able to put ourselves in those shoes when we are trying to make decisions.
By having trips like this, we can grow up and teach future generations about these rural issues, and hopefully we can come together and make decisions for the collective of Nevada rather than just urban areas.
I'm an anthropology major, so I'm all about the study of different cultures, and just seeing this kind of intersectionality within such a company such as Nevada Gold Mine, it kind of just reinforces why my discipline is so important.
As a criminal justice major, basically my future career that I want to go into is into law. Kind of like an internship where you have to actually be in the place instead of reading a textbook. It's not like that in the real world technically. So using this kind of experience, I'm gonna utilize that into my future law career.
The people that we got to visit, I think they were very excited to see us because no one from the urban areas would want to see what's going on in the rural areas, and no one's asking them, and they don't get acknowledged. And so I think a lot of them were really excited and happy to see us and seeing us excited to learn and wanting to understand their issues and wanting to understand what's happening.
This trip gave us the opportunity not only to learn about Nevada and to learn about our state, but to come to those conclusions together and then to grow upon them. And so that's something that I've loved this entire time.
What a great field trip and what a great example of UNLV students. It's things like that that I just love to see. I love to hear. They were expressing their joys of learning. And in that kind of format, that is what is going to stick with them and is going to guide the decisions they make and the contributions that they make to our state and beyond. There are other types of experiential learning that are more common with the same intent to reinforce the joy of learning in real life situations. Internships, for example, are a perfect example of a real life situation where one can be able to experience the joy of learning. The Governor's Office of Economic Development has invested $4 million towards a talent retention program. It's designed to retain top students at R1 institutions in the state, of course, UNLV, and the focus is, and that other school too. The focus is for science and engineering students to provide support to entrepreneurial tech companies and other startups in the state during and immediately following their times in college. The students will get paid while getting significant on-the-job training and become workforce ready. Separately, we are also developing new partnerships with regional and national employers to provide educational and workforce opportunities for UNLV graduates. Community partnerships are embedded within UNLV's Top Tier 2.0 strategic plan and remain an emphasis for me and for our institution. As an urban research university, we need to be connected to and ever thoughtful about how we engage with our community. That's true for the academic programs we design and teach for a workforce-ready community. It's true for the research we conduct to help address community issues, and it's true for the collaborative work with other organizations. But we can't be a community rich in opportunities if our citizens have poor health. Thanks to a generous donor, the Kerkorian School of Medicine has partnered with the Clark County School District to provide care for underserved students at Bailey Elementary School. The medical school is the sole source of health care for many of those students, providing full pediatric services, including vaccinations and physicals. With the help of the donor, Dr. Mark Kahn and his colleagues worked hard to make this a reality. The goal for this work is simple. Kids learn better when they're healthy. So let's help them be healthy. Health also includes mental health. And the UNLV practice opened a downtown counseling clinic that offered special care to youth and young adults in the Las Vegas Medical District. This work is being directed by Michelle Paul and her colleagues, and I'm very proud of what they've been accomplishing to help us get to some sort of post-pandemic normal. So if you would, let's thank all of them. Our Integrated Health Sciences continues its ongoing partnerships with the Cleveland Clinic Lou Ruvo Center for Brain Health and was recently awarded an $11 million grant to continue its work. This grant came from the National Institutes of Health, and it's designed to advance neuroscience in Southern Nevada. And while I'm at it, congratulations to Dean Angela Amar and the School of Nursing for its recently announced $3 million grant from the Nevada Department of Child and Family Services to support student scholarships in our advanced practice nursing program. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the clinical work and community service of all of our health sciences schools and what they're involved in the community and in the region. An example, the School of Dental Medicine has donated nearly, get this, $6 million in free clinical service over the past decade. Your teams are making lives throughout the region better, and that's critically important. These are just a few examples of how we connect with the community we serve. And as a public urban serving university, it's so important to me that we continue to extend and strengthen our community partnerships. That includes expanding the breadth and reach of healthcare in Southern Nevada. It's a natural component of a Carnegie Research One very high research institution. And UNLV will continue its work with both the Las Vegas City Council and Clark County Commission to build out the Las Vegas Medical District. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the numerous contributions and support from both. For UNLV, this started with the county donating land for the medical education building. And the city continues to work identifying partnerships in that space. Las Vegas City Councilman Brian Knudsen is in the audience today, and I'd like to give him a round of applause for his strong leadership, his keen vision, and ability to make things happen in the medical district. You've got to work with Brian to understand this, but I mean, he is an incredible champion for this cause. It will take all of us, though, and all of our organizations to accomplish this broader goal of building out the Las Vegas Medical District. But it's absolutely critical to improving healthcare in Southern Nevada and aligning and training doctors and specialists. For me, the concept of community connection also means applying our faculty skills and expertise to teach others. But it doesn't always have to be in a traditional classroom or with traditional students per se. The free cyber clinic is but one example, providing real-world opportunities for our students and critical support for local business owners whose livelihoods could topple over if, in a heartbeat, they experience a cyber attack. The free clinic was launched in partnership between the College of Engineering and the Small Business Development Center and offers no-cost security auditing, planning, and a host of other services to help small businesses mitigate cybersecurity risks. The clinic also complements a recently launched cybersecurity master's degree that's offered here at UNLV. Thank you to Dean Rama Vinkat for your leadership and supporting our students. We have also extended our reach to the historic West Side. This past fall, in collaboration with Nevada Partners, the City of North Las Vegas, and Mayor Pamela Goings-Brown, County Commissioner William McCurdy, as well as Congressman Stephen Horsford, and Cedric Carrier, of course, was involved. He's involved in everything. Our goal is to deliver programs for new and existing businesses that leverage the West Side's rich cultural history, as well as the potential of sports and medical tourism. The Tourism Business Igniter program is funded by a $2 million federal grant and also utilizes the expertise of UNLV's world-renowned hospitality program. And UNLV is also a partner in one of 5 new university-based regional hubs for the National Science Foundation's Innovation Corps, a program to power innovation research in the marketplace. UNLV will be a training hub for academic researchers across fields of science and engineering to stress test their ideas by working in interdisciplinary teams. Their work helps to determine whether a market exists for the research that they're conducting. UNLV has been involved with this initiative since 2017 through the Trosch Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation in the Lee School of Business. This new agreement extends and expands previous work and strengthens opportunities via partnerships throughout the Western region. Thanks to Dean Jerry Sanders and the great faculty in the Lee Business School for their work. Well, we all know what happens next week. The 82nd session of the Nevada Legislature opens on Monday, and Dr. Constance Brooks will be leading our day-to-day efforts in Carson City. And UNLV will be working with NSHE to support Governor Lombardo's budget requests for higher education. That includes full restoration of the pandemic-driven budget cuts, which amount to about $18 million for UNLV alone. We also support Governor Lombardo's request to increase graduate teaching assistants by funding $20 million and to invest $9 million to expand student capacity and faculty at the Kirk Kerkorian School of Medicine. Thank you, Governor Lombardo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Looking at his budget, I think that we're off to a really good start of having a great education governor. The university will also be asking for performance funding to be included in the base budget instead of the state holding back and refreshing funds at a later date, and we intend to request the higher education price index be tied directly to the weighted student credit hour rate to ensure that funding for NSHE institutions keeps pace with increased costs to provide services. We'll also work closely with NSHE for merit increases and improved health benefits, and requesting summer school funding for teachers to expand summer class offerings and financial aid for students in summer courses. And we'll continue our advocacy for funds of previously identified capital projects. They include a new fine arts building to replace the outdated, nearly 65-year-old Grant Hall. I do remember last year that I think it was Shannon Sumner told me that Grant Hall was supposed to be replaced when she got here, and now 30 years later she's hoping it gets done before she retires. So it's a high priority. Another priority is an interdisciplinary science and technology building that includes space for research, academic classrooms, and labs. Speaking of capital projects, I want to update you on a few projects in the UNLV master plan that we highlighted last year. We continue our work on designing a more inviting and welcoming entrance off of Maryland Parkway that provides a more open view of our campus. We also have targeted a project we refer to as the heart of campus, near the Lead Library, that will be a gathering point for students, faculty, and staff, and serve as a gathering spot for university activities. So you're seeing the pictures of, these are all big ideas, and big ideas cost big money, especially given the budget pressures and constraints that we actually continue to face in today. But you can't have a bold vision if you don't think big. So I want you to think big with me. As mentioned, we continue to advocate for full restoration of state budget cuts made during the pandemic. We have developed a comprehensive strategy for enrollment, and I have tasked the Vice President of Philanthropy and Alumni Engagement, Ricky McCurry, to begin planning for a capital fundraising campaign. I say that because, of course, I will be coming and asking you for money. This ability to be able to recruit new employees is one of the biggest challenges that we face today. It's increasingly difficult with greater competition and smaller applicant pools. Knowing that new positions will be limited and expense to recruit employees is resource intensive. We have a parallel track to concentrate on retaining and keeping our existing employees. But still, one of the items I'm most proud of is that we've made progress on diversifying our faculty. And I'd like to thank Provost Tevey and the deans for their efforts. When we take a look at the data by our university's decision support unit, it shows that UNLV is actually in the top 10% of diverse faculty among Carnegie Research 1 and Research 2 institutions. I appreciate the applause, but let me be clear. We have made progress, but we are nowhere close to being finished with our work at creating a welcoming, diverse, and inclusive campus. Speaking of progress, I want to take a moment to mention a few highlights in our athletics. Our 500+ student athletes achieved their highest ever mark for academic progress rate, APR. Those factors that go into the APR include eligibility, retention, graduation rates over 7 years, and it's a team effort to get this done. And it's one constant that has been driving this has been our academic advisors. They are incredible. And I want to give a special thanks to Dean Ann McDonough and the Academic Success Center for all of their work. They have really been doing this. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that's been involved with this achievement, and congratulations to our student athletes. I can't think of any better way to reward the joy of learning by seeing our students achieve athletic performance on the field, but also in the classroom. I also want to brag a bit more and mention that UNLV Athletics has a new strategic plan that aligns with the university's broader Top Tier 2.0 strategic plan. I'd like to thank Athletic Director Eric Harper and his team for their work, as well as Kyle Kalberg from my office, who provided guidance and support. The new strategic plan is aimed at delivering a premier student-athlete experience and providing opportunities for success. It aligns athletic and academic goals and serves as a roadmap for our student athletes while at UNLV and beyond. As we look at the future, I'm reminded of what the great Dr. Martin Luther King said. He said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." That's what we plan to do here at UNLV. UNLV is made up of great scholars, amazing students, and dedicated staff, all embedded in a city like no other. When you factor in our student population and our faculty and staff, UNLV is the 13th largest city in Nevada. I guess that makes me the mayor. But the measure of a great university is more than just its size. We need to continue to build on the impact that we are having. That includes groundbreaking research, high-quality teaching, and impeccable work in everything we do, all while incorporating our university values of access and equity, excellence and integrity, collaboration and stewardship, and compassion and inclusion. Each one of us should take tremendous pride in what this university is achieving on our road to even greater heights. But all of our work, all of our planning, all of our dreaming of what we want this university to become goes back to that student experience and to a very simple concept: the joy of learning. Students should aspire to come to UNLV because they see themselves here. They should know they will have opportunities here. They should know that they will succeed here and believe they will have an overall positive and enriching experience. We as faculty and staff should find fulfillment in how we're helping shape the lives of others and improving the communities we serve. In doing so, we too discover the joy of learning, just like our students, and will experience it in everything we do at UNLV. I'm in my third year as president of this university, and I got to tell you, every morning I wake up and I put on my socks. They usually match. And I think to myself, boy, it's good to be a rebel. I wake up every morning feeling grateful and humbled and honored that I can serve as your president. I will continue to invite you to dream big with me, and we can dream big because rebels make it happen. Thank you.